TV7 Israel News is made possible thanks to your generous donations. Shalom and good evening. This is TV7 Israel News, broadcast to you from Jerusalem. And in today's top stories, Israel rejects Hezbollah's desperate calls for an immediate ceasefire. Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant asserts that once the fog of war disperses in Lebanon, Iran will realize that it had lost its most potent proxy. A heinous terror attack in the central town of Hedera leaves a number of Israelis wounded. Israel has battered Iran's most potent regional proxy, namely Hezbollah in Lebanon, which is now desperately calling for an immediate ceasefire. However, after a year of belligerent cross-border strikes against Israel's northern communities, Israel is determined to further destroy Hezbollah's terror infrastructure throughout southern Lebanon and has outright rejected any diplomacy with the Iranian proxy at this point in time.
Hezbollah is an organization without a head. Nasrallah was eliminated. His replacement was probably also eliminated. And all the rest, Akil, Muzin, Karaki, and all those under. This thing has a dramatic effect on everything that happens. There is no one to make decisions, no one to act in the fire array that Hezbollah built over the years with a huge Iranian investment, has reached the level that today's Hezbollah is similar to what Hamas started with and maybe below that, and short-range rockets, and middle-range rockets, and missiles. All of this together with the significant action that is being taken on the front, in fact everywhere, is peeling away all the capabilities, and we see what is happening. There is fear, there is panic. There is an erosion of the Hezbollah organization, which is of a different magnitude. This organization has never experienced anything like this.
Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, who made these remarks during a visit to the IDF's Northern Command, went on to highlight that once the fog of war disperses, the Islamic Republic of Iran will realize that it has lost its most potent force.
The actions we are taking are observed all over the Middle East. It is reflected on Hamas, on Iran, and of course Hezbollah. And the centers of power in Lebanon seemingly understand the picture and are entering into this vacuum. Thus, this operation also serves the systematic goal, and the smoke is spreading. It will take another day, another week, another 2 weeks. Once the smoke and fog of war clears in Lebanon, in Iran they will realize that they have lost their most valuable asset, which is Hezbollah.
Since launching the ground maneuver in southern Lebanon, the IDF destroyed over 3,000 Hezbollah targets, deepening its operational achievements with chief focus on dismantling Hezbollah's capabilities along the border with Israel. Admiral Hagari further noted the IDF's extensive efforts to locate and destroy Hezbollah's subterranean network along the borderline.
Our troops are operating to locate dozens of underground combat infrastructure, which do not cross into Israeli territory. We are investigating, neutralizing, and destroying them. This evening, we reported that we located and neutralized a tunnel approximately 25 meters long, which crossed approximately 10 meters past the border fence, from the Marwahin area in southern Lebanon into Israeli territory, near the community of Zaret. In the footage you see here, you can see our soldiers scanning the tunnel. They uncovered the tunnel, raided, neutralized, and cleared it. As you can see, the end of the route was blocked. It had no exit point within Israeli territory. This is a route we identified several months ago, monitored, and investigated using technological means without letting Hezbollah know, and now we can confirm that we have neutralized it. We continue to scan the area along the entire border, both on our side and also in the villages in southern Lebanon. We are scanning the area thoroughly to search and locate such terrorist infrastructure.
The IDF spokesman went on to assert that the operational activities throughout Lebanon will persist until Jerusalem deems it safe for the residents of northern Israel to return to their homes.
Alongside the ground forces, IAF aircraft are striking targets directed by the soldiers on the ground and assisting them. All of our activities are part of changing the security reality in the north so that the residents of the north can return to their homes at a time determined by the political echelon.
Meanwhile, from Jerusalem, Prime Minister Binyamin Netanyahu released a film statement to the Lebanese people in which he asserted that Israel is not the enemy of Lebanon.
This is a message to the people of Lebanon. Do you remember when your country was called the Pearl of the Middle East? I do. So what happened to Lebanon? A gang of tyrants and terrorists destroyed it. That's what happened. Lebanon was once known for its tolerance, for its beauty. Today, it's a place of chaos, a place of war. Israel withdrew from Lebanon 25 years ago, but the country that actually conquered Lebanon is not Israel. It's Iran. Iran, which finances and arms Hezbollah to serve Iran's interests at Lebanon's expense. Hezbollah has turned Lebanon into a stockpile of ammunition and weapons and a forward Iranian military base. Just one day after the October 7th massacre a year ago, Hezbollah joined the war against Israel. It launched an unprovoked attack on our cities and on our citizens. It has since fired over 8,000 missiles at Israel, killing civilians without distinctions, Jews, Christians, Muslims, and Druze. Israel has decided to put an end to this. We've decided to do whatever is necessary to return our people safely to their homes. Israel has a right to defend itself. Israel also has a right to win, and Israel will win.
Amid Hezbollah's desperate state, Netanyahu continued by calling upon the Lebanese people to take their country back from the Iranian thugs.
We've degraded Hezbollah's capabilities. We took out thousands of terrorists, including Nasrallah himself, and Nasrallah's replacement, and the replacement of his replacement. Today, Hezbollah is weaker than it's been for many, many years. Now you, the Lebanese people, you stand at a significant crossroads. It is your choice. You can now take back your country. You can return it to a path of peace and prosperity. If you don't, Hezbollah will continue to try to fight Israel from densely populated areas at your expense. It doesn't care if Lebanon is dragged into a wider war. Christians, Druze, Muslims, Sunnis, and Shiites, all of you are suffering because of Hezbollah's futile war against Israel. Today I ask every mother and every father in Lebanon a simple question. Is it worth it? Because it doesn't have to be that way. I know you want a better future for your children. So I'm speaking to all of you today. There is a better way for your children, for your cities, for your villages, for your country. You deserve to restore Lebanon to its days of tranquility. You deserve a Lebanon that is different. One country, one flag, one people.
Meanwhile, in Washington, U.S. State Department spokesman Matthew Miller was asked about reports regarding Hezbollah desperately pursuing a ceasefire, which in contrast to its obstinate position during the first 11 months of war, in which it refused any compromise with Israel, it is now keen on delinking from the Gaza Strip.
So first of all, I did see these reports that Hezbollah now wants a ceasefire. And
delinked from Gaza.
Yeah, delinked from Gaza, that they just want a ceasefire on its own terms. And I think my initial response to this is, where have they been for a year? For a year, the world has been calling on Hezbollah to stop the attacks across the border into Israel. And for a year, Hezbollah said they would not do it unless there was a ceasefire in Gaza. They linked the two when the international community was saying, stop the fighting. And Israel was saying, if Hezbollah stopped attacks across the border, Israel would stop its attacks in response against Hezbollah. So for a year, you had the world calling for this ceasefire. You had Hezbollah refusing to agree to one. And now that Hezbollah is on the back foot and is getting battered, suddenly they've changed their tune and want a ceasefire. I think it's not surprising given the situation they find themselves in.
Miller continued by highlighting that the United States is engaged in talks with regional and global actors that hold sway over separate parts of Lebanon's sectarian public.
So we are having conversations with a number of different players inside Lebanon, and not only are we having conversations with them, our allies and partners from inside the region and from outside the region are having those conversations, and oftentimes we have sort of intermediaries to talk to individuals inside Lebanon. Those are ongoing. I don't think it's productive for me to read them out publicly.
Turning to the Israeli town of Hedera, where an Arab-Israeli assailant armed with an axe and a knife went on a stabbing rampage, wounding 8 Israeli civilians before armed civilians and a police officer overpowered him in what preliminary police investigation classified as a terrorist attack.
The police and Shin Bet are working to understand who is the terrorist, what are his motives, who sent him, who is his family. This is a lot of work that is done to prevent other attacks. We will settle the score with all those involved in this attack, from the person who sent him, who convinced him in a mosque or anywhere else, who led him to jump on a motorbike and attack Jews for no reason, and therefore we will check everyone.
The wounded Israeli civilians were transferred to a couple of hospitals where 2 were diagnosed in critical condition, 3 in severe condition, and 1 civilian was wounded lightly. Thank you for watching TV7 Israel News. I would like to encourage you, pray for the peace of Jerusalem and salvation of Israel. Separately, if you're blessed by our productions, which are exclusively donation-based, please consider supporting our programs with a donation. You can do so via our website at www.tv7israelnews.com. I'm Jonathan Hessen, wishing you an Erev Mevorach, and God willing, we will see you during our next update. Until then, Shalom from Jerusalem.